Good morning. It is 9:08 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. Why would you need those? Does anybody know why you need those? Mason, any idea? Could it be that...
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
It's true. I mean, there's reasons. So we actually have the Deputy Press Secretary from the White House, Abigail Jackson, coming on the show today. And I'm torn as to whether or not to play the Alex Jones sound effect before we get into the interview. Just to kind of like set the table. You know what I mean? We haven't spoke before. The White House reached out to me and they were like, hey, you know, we want to get some more people from the administration on the show. And I was like, that's actually really cool. I'm like, I'm down for it. But they don't really, I don't know how much they've listened. So I'm like, do I kind of, you know, how do we do this? Do I dip the toe in the pool or do I cannonball immediately? You know,
this is a toe dip kind of situation.
You sure? So you're advising against?
My hand will be right next to the trigger for it, but
Mason's like, boss, you just tell me where to shoot and I'll shoot.
I'll shoot. I'll fire away.
But Mason, I'm just following orders, sir. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson is going to be joining the show at 9:35. It's been a year and 5 days since they have signed the big, beautiful bill. So we're going to talk about the impacts of that. We also, we're going to have a big conversation today about the gubernatorial race and all the goobers involved. That's what we've affectionately referred to them as on the Chris Hand Show. You're not a candidate for governor, 9 to noon. You're a goober because it's the gubernatorial race. It's just how things work around here.
Just a goober.
So we're going to talk about the goobers and their strategies. And did I hear in the newscast that there's a debate that John Rose and Monty Fritz have agreed to, but Marsha Blackburn is not signed up yet?
That is correct.
I mean, at a certain point, you understand the strategy of Marsha Blackburn, right? If she's that ahead in the polls, she only has something to lose in a debate.
Correct.
I wonder what the audience thinks if it's just 1v1, Rose versus Fritz. Who wins that thing?
We were wondering if if News Channel 5 would have an empty chair for her.
Oh my gosh.
Ha.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yikes. Wouldn't that be something?
Or maybe a cutout.
I wonder if they said if she doesn't show up, we will have an empty chair. If that would kind of make her feel like she needs to go.
Yeah. She hasn't responded. Her team hasn't responded yet.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Randy texted in about the Abigail Jackson, whether or not I do the Alex Jones things. He goes, Chris, here's a wild thought. Why don't you just act like a professional journalist when you interview her? Thought about it. Still not sure, actually. Still on the fence. But, you know, I'm looking forward to that conversation. We're going to talk about some updates in fraud. J.D. Vance was in Milwaukee yesterday, just crushing. Graham Plattner has officially dropped out of the race. And we got some more updates on that. All in all, we got a big story. We got some updates on immigration as well, and we'll talk about all of that and more. Let's begin with the Iran stuff. A wave of airstrikes coming down the line last night. It was Bridge Day. They got some bridges. And this really started kicking off after we got off the air yesterday and then lasted into the evening. This is how Fox News reported what was going down.
Wave that just begun. New attacks in Iran. Correspondent Lucas Tomlinson is live there now, rather in Turkey, with more. Hey, Lucas.
Turquoise.
Well, good afternoon, Will. For a second consecutive night, U.S. forces are carrying out airstrikes inside Iran. This is something that President Trump said earlier here at a NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, that would probably happen in response to Iran targeting those 3 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump saying earlier today the ceasefire with Iran is over, but he does not see the war restarting. He did say he could reach back for this on the high seas, Will.
And we may put down the blockade. We may put it back, the blockade. And it'll only be a blockade for Iran. Anybody else can have whatever they want.
So strikes are back on the table. They were being executed last night. The blockade could be on the table once again. J.D. Vance yesterday was in Milwaukee. The majority of his speech was talking about fraud, but he did talk about Iran. And he's just like, guys, I don't know what you want me to do here. We had a deal on the table, and then they started firing at ships. So what can the White House do at this point? What can the Trump administration do? I mean, essentially, if Iran wants to play stupid games, they're going to win stupid prizes, and you're going to get rocked. Like, I don't want to be in this conflict any more than the next guy, but it's FAFO, and that's the point that J.D. Vance made yesterday in Milwaukee.
We will sit down at the table and negotiate and see if the smart people in that system can take over from the crazy people. Well, here's the basic deal that we cut. The basic deal that we cut was, we'll lift our blockade if you stop shooting at ships. But if you shoot at ships, we are going to punch back, and we're going to punch back harder than ever before. That was the deal. They said they would stop shooting at ships, and what happened 24 hours ago? They started shooting at ships again. Now, they were good. They were well-behaved for about a week, but then they started shooting at ships. So the deal is very simple. If they shoot at ships, we're going to knock the hell out of them, and it's that simple, and that's the basic way it's going to work.
And that's probably the only thing the Iranians understand. I mean, they're bloodthirsty. I mean, I don't know what else you want to say. They're playing stupid games, so they're going to win stupid prizes. And I don't know. Where's the Israel made us do it crowd? Did Israel make Iran bomb those ships? I mean, the peace deal was on the table. Like, we were headed towards that. But they decided to fire at ships again. Just ridiculous. I want cheap gas too. I don't want to be in this conflict. But it's like, what are we gonna? We're gonna take a knee and be like, oh, this is fine. No, you can't take a knee and say this is fine. President Trump last night, he was on, and part of this I think was Iran thinking nothing's gonna happen because the president is in Turkey at the NATO summit, and it's a little bit more dicey doing it while the president isn't in the safety, the confines of the White House. But President Trump said last night on Air Force One on his way back, we'll hit them 20 times as hard every time they attack.
Perhaps someday you want to change professions. What do you have, Daniel?
Is it conclusive that there are strikes ongoing in Iran? So
We just hit them very hard. And I say we hit them 20 to 1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Are we returning to a full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, can you trust them at this point? I think would be the question, and I think the answer here is clearly no. This is the second day in a row that the U.S. had attacked Iranian targets in what U.S. officials say is an effort to stop Tehran from striking commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Axios has the details. The U.S. military launched cruise missiles at 2 railway bridges in the northeastern part of Iran as part of Wednesday's strikes, officials told Axios. This marked the first time the U.S. had struck Iranian infrastructure since the April 8th ceasefire. Meanwhile, the Kuwait army said on Wednesday evening on X that its air defenses were confronting hostile missile and drone attacks, while Bahrain's Interior Ministry reported air raid sirens sounding in the kingdom. President Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One, Iranian officials called a little while ago. They wanted to make a deal. We just played that. Trump said Wednesday's strikes were in response to the attacks on commercial ships. We hit them pretty hard. When they hit, we hit back much harder. Trump said Wednesday evening on Truth Social that if Tehran strikes commercial ships again, the response will get much worse. U.S. officials said Wednesday's strikes were wider in scope than Tuesday's strikes, and targets included Iran military coastal radars, anti-ship missile positions, and air defense systems. I mean, a lot of people online are asking, well, how are there any of those left? I mean, I think it's a fair enough question. But U.S. Central Command said in a statement Wednesday evening that its forces were conducting additional strikes against Iran to further degrade their ability to threaten freedom of navigation in the Strait. The statement added the United States is holding Iran accountable for recent unjustified aggression against commercial shipping and civilian crews freely navigating a vital international waterway. So that's kind of where we stand right now. He said Iran called them. They want to make a deal, and he doesn't know if he can trust them, obviously. I mean, at this point, does anybody trust any of the Iranians? I mean, you might get on the phone with a guy who seems relatively reasonable, but then you have a lunatic leading the military being like, no, yeah, your phone call be damned. We're gonna launch a missile and send some drones. So I don't know, man. I want to be out of this conflict, but it seems like we're just gonna have to pummel them into submission, which I just wish we could do quick. Can we do it quick? Prosperity nukes? Anybody? Put up a poll. Who votes for prosperity nukes? One funny thing happened on Air Force One, and I don't know. I thought it was funny, but there was a reporter that was in the gaggle on Air Force One. That's what they call it. They call it a little gaggle. They were gaggling, and the reporter said, "Was there a threat on Air Force One?" And this is what President Trump had to say.
Probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
So you think that Iran was possibly thinking of targeting?
Well, I mean, if they asked you to close your windows, probably they feel that way. They didn't ask me to close mine, but if they did, I would have done it. No, these are sick people, so I could see something like that. I didn't know they did that, but I could see something like that.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force
Well, I have
One?
a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go, right?
But was there a
So
specific threat today?
perhaps someday you want to change professions.
Can you imagine? I'm number one on their list. If I go, you go, as they're thousands of feet in the air. Yeah. I mean, they would definitely want to take out the plane. As the reporters grow increasingly nervous and sweat drips down their forehead. It's like, I'm in danger. It's the Ralph Wiggum meme on The Simpsons. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Yes, you are. I think that there has to be, if you're a member of the press and you're traveling on Air Force One, I think you have to know the risks that you sign up for there, right? Right? Especially on the international flights. Maybe you're good when they're traveling for a farm event in Wyoming, but if you're traveling to Turquoise for a NATO summit, yeah, I could see why the threat level would be a little bit higher. But, if you don't like it, change professions. The president doesn't seem bothered by it. Yeah, I got death threats all the time. It's fine. People are fine with it. We got a lot to cover on the way. We are going to open up the phone lines after our interview with Abigail Jackson to talk about the gubernatorial race. Monty Fritz, did you see on that podcast? He did a podcast with Young Buck and the Brooks bail bonding. Did you see that? You know who he brought up on the podcast? The Chris Hand Show.
Oh,
yep. I got stories about Young Buck from my hip hop days that I could tell you offline, but I don't want to incriminate myself in any crimes. So, but it comes full circle. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the ads that the governors or would-be governors are dropping, the strategies that I think they're employing, and we'll talk a little bit about the debate that 2/3 of the gubernatorial candidates have agreed to. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. You're welcome to join the show any way you would like. You can jump in the chat on YouTube and Rumble. You can jump on the text line or the phone lines, 615-737-9986. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC. You could have some nasty stuff in your water and you don't even know it. Your water could also be perfectly fine. But you don't got the proof. You don't know for sure. Well, Better Water will test your water for free today. They're a local company based out of Smyrna. They know how to treat water. They're already doing it at the coffee shops and the hospitals around town. You've already probably tasted their work. And these guys could get some nasty stuff out of your water. This is what could be in there. Sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. This is the water that you're making coffee with in the morning. This is the water that you're bathing in. You're bathing your kids and your grandkids in. Wouldn't you want to know if there was E. coli in it? Well, Better Water will tell you if there is or isn't today for free. And if you do have the nasty stuff, they can clean it up so fast. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it, Better Water has you covered. Stop bathing in it and stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Make sure you let them know that Chris Hand sent you. You can always find them online, betterwater.com.
We are just learning that General Motors is putting its money where its mouth is right here in Middle Tennessee. We've got details on that coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. She's not in the newsroom, by the way.
No, not. Mm-mm.
So is this the new thing when you got golf in the afternoon, you get to work from home?
Actually, it's vacation time, you see.
What?
Yeah?
How many vacations do they give you? I need to go to the Joan Jones School of Negotiation. That's what I need. I just find it odd that like the one day it's not really raining, Joan is working from home.
Well, I think that you know how I filled in for you?
Yes.
While you were on vacation? I think you should be filling in for me while I'm on vacation. What do you think?
I'm in.
Nice.
Sam will take your spot and we'll just have some fun.
I'll do it. I'll do both.
I like it.
Bounce
I like
back and
it.
forth.
I would probably turn the news into nincompoops.
Ooh.
I would just
30 minutes of.
I would just look for absurd.
I'm here for it.
They'd be like, Chris, can you stop providing commentary during the headlines? That's kind of a no-no. I'd be like, I'm just trying to learn, guys. I'm not a serious journalist.
Maybe we should get somebody else to fill for me.
No, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it good.
It'll just definitely be opinion driven.
I'll do it gooder than anybody's ever done it before.
Oh, man.
Most bestest.
I mean, what, like, Joan doesn't even hide it. Even her husband was like, yeah, she's gunning for your job, Chris. And I was like, I know. This is terrible. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy my 4th of July, and I'm reminded by Joan's husband that Joan's nipping at my heels here for 9 to noon. Now, we love Joan. And so where are you going on vacation? Somewhere fun?
Florida, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Going to see some family.
Little Gulf of America action?
We will not. No, we're going to be up in the Panhandle area, I guess they call it. So closer to Alabama, probably than we'd like. But yeah.
Tell us how you really feel. That's Joan Jones, by the way. Headlines on the way in less than a minute. My name is Chris Hand. On the way, I'm actually pretty excited about this guest that we got. We have the Deputy Press Secretary for the White House, Abigail Jackson, is going to be joining me live from the White House. We're going to talk about the legislation that they have delivered so far. It's about a year and 5 days since the signing of the big, beautiful bill, and they wanted to talk about some of the big accomplishments and what they've delivered so far for families, for small businesses. Plus, we'll talk about the latest on oil prices, the energy security, and this week's NATO summit. Abigail Jackson, Deputy Press Secretary for the White House, joins us next. Right now, though, it's the headlines with Joan Jones on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A new round of strikes targeting Iran overnight as CENTCOM appears to take President Trump's words on the ending of the ceasefire agreement to heart.
New U.S. strikes hitting Iran, the second in 24 hours, according to a U.S. official, adding the U.S. targeting coastal radar sites and anti-ship missile locations after President Trump declared the ceasefire over. Posting on Truth Social, this is in retribution for yesterday's bombing of ships by Iran. If it happens again, it will get much worse.
And we're learning that, by the way, is ABC's Jacqueline Lee. We're learning that 3 members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard were killed in last night's strikes. Erica Kirk asking a Utah court to be more transparent. In a court document filed yesterday, she says some of the evidence at this week's pretrial hearing have been admitted but not presented for viewing. She says that defeats the purpose of the hearing, and she wants all new evidence to be displayed. Accused killer Tyler Robinson's defense attorneys have fought against releasing certain evidence, including the expected release of a recorded statement from Lance Twiggs, his romantic partner. They claim making it public would undermine Robinson's right to a fair trial. General Motors announcing it'll invest $275 million at its Spring Hill GM manufacturing complex, upgrading both its vehicle assembly and engine manufacturing. GM is preparing that plant to build a future gas-powered Cadillac model, possibly the next generation Cadillac XT6. The company is also investing so it can extend production of the TurboMax engine. You'll find that in the Chevy Silverado and Colorado trucks, as well as the GMC Sierra and Canyons. And when it comes to self-driving cars, they've become a big problem to first responders.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is telling self-driving vehicle developers to improve the way their cars respond to emergency scenes. The agency says it's documented cases where autonomous vehicles drove into active incidents, blocked ambulances and fire trucks, or failed to recognize flashing lights, traffic cones, smoke, and other warning signs. The agency says those failures put both first responders and the public at risk. Officials plan to meet with autonomous vehicle developers later this month to hear how they plan to solve the problem. Dave Packer, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. If there's one thing that you can be guaranteed about when it comes to the Glock Store is that they know how to throw a hell of an event. Whether it was the open house or any of their other events, they always throw a good party, and they got another event coming up. It is the O-Site and Glock Store VIP event. This is going to be an exclusive event, limited availability, Friday, August 7th. You're going to check in from 9 to 11:30, and the event starts at noon. You're going to have meet and greet and a pro photo shoot with some featured guests like Short Shot Tony. He's a funny gun guy and a YouTube sensation, Justine Williams. She is the USPSA's youngest Grand Master with 24 national championships and 8 world records. Now, attendees are going to get a free look at pre-release O-Site optics, hands-on range time with great guns with O-Site optics, and expert instructions in CCW tips and tactics. There's going to be a catered lunch, a VIP gift bag worth over $2,000, including a new O-Site optic. And you can get your tickets today at Glockstore.com/VIP. That's Glockstore.com/VIP. You don't want to miss this exclusive O-Site and Glockstore VIP event. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, Glockstore.com. Thirty-six minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Really excited about our next guest. It's the first time that she's joining the show. She is the Deputy Press Secretary for the White House. Her name is Abigail Jackson. You've probably seen her all over the place, Fox News and more. Welcome to the program, Abigail. We really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us.
Hey, great to be with you guys. First time, hopefully not my last.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do a recurring thing. We're really excited to talk to you. It's been about a year and 5 days exactly since the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill on the South Lawn, and you're making some time to talk to us. Can you tell us what the big wins have been this past year because of the Big Beautiful Bill?
Yes, so many wins, actually, because it was so big and beautiful, jam-packed with a lot of great policy promises from the president's campaign. Some highlights that I'm sure your listeners are really feeling: no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, in addition to a huge tax cut across the board. They were the largest tax cuts in history for the American people, and not a single Democrat in Congress voted to pass this legislation into law. That's what's really crazy about it all.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, as we talk to Tennesseans, and we do every day, a lot of people are still feeling squeezed on monthly costs. What is the White House's response currently to the affordability crisis? Is it stay patient? We're working behind the scenes. What are you hearing?
Well, absolutely. The president has always been in touch with what the American people are feeling on a daily basis when it comes to the economy. That's why when he first came into office, his priorities were to tackle Biden's inflation crisis, drive down the cost of eggs, and a slew of other policies like these tax cuts to help provide working Americans some relief. And that hasn't changed. as we face new challenges in the country, the president is still focused on that. And you see that through initiatives like Freedom Fuel, which the president has introduced to try and lower prices at the pump. You see that through things like the Trump accounts, which another feature of the One Big Beautiful Bill helps set the new generation of Americans up for financial success so that, when they are older, they already have investments going for them. And that's something that the president has really championed. So there are a variety of initiatives that the president is working on a daily basis. And of course, more to come, really focused on relief for the American people.
We're talking with the Deputy Press Secretary for the White House, Abigail Jackson. You mentioned the Freedom Fuel gas stations. I'm understanding that there's about 25 of these that have been launched. Can you expand on what these are and where they are a little bit more?
Yeah, so the Freedom Fuel gas stations are a couple different places around the country, and really it's aimed at addressing the cost of fuel and making it more affordable. As the president has said recently, I'm sure some of your listeners have heard, oil prices are going down. They're falling rapidly. And, prices at the pump aren't necessarily staying in line with how they're decreasing. That's something the president is really pushing on. He wants consumers to pay a fair price, that companies aren't, making profit hand over fist while the American people are paying the cost. And so this is one initiative of many that the president is spearheading to make sure that American consumers feel the benefits of falling oil prices.
I think it's important to point out while we're talking about the Freedom Fuel Network, it's a private company. It didn't receive any subsidies from the administration, but as of right now, there's only 25. 20 are in Pennsylvania, 5 are in New Jersey. Are we going to see this expanded nationwide? And is it a long-term effort?
Well, I won't get ahead of any announcements that the president would have, but it's our hope, whether it's, this Freedom Fuel Network or other policy initiatives, to provide relief to Americans at the pump or, in other ways. It is our hope that there is more that we see across the country. The president also just announced that Walmart was lowering prices. And so that, demonstrates just a variety of different ways the president is talking to and working with private companies. He's using the levers of power that he has in the government to lower prices as well. So President Trump is doing many different things. There's never just focus on any one initiative. There is focus on a lot of different priorities and how we can best deliver for the American people.
No, I think that's one of the things that we all appreciate is that the man can walk and chew gum at the same time. We're talking with the White House Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson. You mentioned oil prices falling. We did see them tick up just yesterday with tensions in the Strait of Hormuz kicking back up, Iran escalation kicking back up. How is the energy and domestic production piece of the Big Beautiful Bill helping shield Americans from the tensions that we're seeing abroad?
Well, we have so many wonderful natural resources in our country. And for years, under the Biden administration, you saw the agenda that they were pushing, their green energy, Green New Deal agenda, saying we shouldn't take advantage of the natural resources we have in our own country. They tried to, shut down different oil opportunities in the United States. And when President Trump came into office, whether it's through the One Big Beautiful Bill, through addressing costly, burdensome, unfair regulation, again, walking and chewing gum, a variety of different ways to address this, the president has totally unleashed domestic energy production. And that's good for a few reasons. The obvious one being it means we have access to fuel and energy in the United States. We aren't reliant on foreign powers, and our prices aren't as volatile as a result of it. But the other one is that it creates good-paying American jobs for working Americans who, for years, Joe Biden said, well, these folks, they can just learn how to code, or these folks, they can do some other job. President Trump said, no, domestic energy production is good for the United States, and we want these working Americans who have spent years developing careers here, who can provide for our country, and who, as a result, can provide for their families to have those opportunities. So whether it's the One Big Beautiful Bill, whether it is rolling back burdensome regulations, the president has unleashed American energy production and will continue to do so.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. A lot of my audience wonders, though, with the oil crisis going on in the Strait of Hormuz, you see the prices going up, you see the prices going down. It is a little bit more volatile than people would appreciate. How is it that we're, as the oil, the global market for oil goes, we're so dependent on that when we're energy independent here in the country?
Yeah, well, of course, as with, any industry, especially a global industry like energy production, obviously the United States has unleashed American energy. We are energy independent, but it is still a global market. And so unfortunately, there is a bit of volatility as a result. But as the president has said, what we are seeing is so much better because better than it would be, because the United States has such a strong energy sector in our country. So, of course, there's always room to improve, and the president, you see that with what he does every day and how he's focused on continuing to bring down costs. He talks about it often, but so much of his policies have already made things better for the American people on that front.
Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson is joining us. You guys just got out of the NATO summit in Turkey. A lot of discussion there was about defense spending and a lot of discussion about Iran. And at the same time, there is the oil volatility. There is the escalations in the Strait of Hormuz. How does the administration see a stronger posture on alliances and Iran connecting to energy security and keeping costs manageable for everyday Americans?
Yeah, well, the president would say that the NATO summit was a great success, and when the American people really dig into what happened there, I think they would agree with him. Of course, he talked about strengthening our alliances and working with our allies, but he is an America First president, ultimately, and, the American people shouldn't be surprised about that, so he's not afraid to give our allies some tough love when they need it. And what that looked like was announcing an increase in defense spending from our alliances, who previously had been relying on the United States to kind of carry the alliance forward and foot the bill for a lot of stuff. President Trump has said, no, you need to meet your spending commitments to be part of this alliance, for the alliance to be strong and not just dependent on the United States. And that's a big win for the American people because it means increased spending and more investment in our defense industry, which as a result supports American jobs. So the president, again, is making progress in the right direction. He's not going to be satisfied until our allies fully meet their commitments, and he's going to keep pushing on it. But when the alliance is more of a balanced alliance and not just the United States footing the bill, that helps the world be a safer place. And that's what the president is so focused on as well with the conflict with Iran, making sure they never get a nuclear weapon. It's a priority of his to make sure the American people are safe and secure from Iran. But of course, our allies should be all on board with that too, because it benefits them as well.
If we were power ranking our current allies, have our Gulf state allies leapfrogged our NATO allies in the eyes of the White House?
Well, I wouldn't make a characterization on our relationship with our allies, aside from what the president has said. So I'll leave that judgment call to him.
We're talking with Abigail Jackson. She is the Deputy Press Secretary for the White House. 1 year in from the Big Beautiful Bill, what's the one thing you want people listening this morning to take away from that legislation and the broader agenda for the American people?
The One Big Beautiful Bill fulfilled a lot of campaign promises: lower taxes, a secure border. It funded our deportation agenda that we're really just ramping up. And, of course, it created a lot of great things like the Trump accounts. President Trump knows there's always more to be done, and he is working around the clock to build on those accomplishments, but also to achieve even more for the American people.
Deputy Jackson, I really appreciate you taking some time this morning to come on the show. Just know you're welcome here anytime. Send our thanks to your team and everybody behind the scenes. We'd love to have you guys on more in the future.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.
Thank you. That's Deputy Press Secretary Abigail Jackson joining us this morning on the Chris Hand Show. She was pressed for time, so we couldn't do the whole segment, but thought we got some good stuff out of her. She seems very, very nice. Very nice. Appreciate the interview. On the way, we got some updates on immigration that are eye-opening, just insane. And I've been meaning to play this clip from Dave Chappelle. And this was from 4th of July. So it's been a couple days, and I've been sitting on it, and I've been meaning to play this, right? So Dave Chappelle was sitting down with Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper doing the Independence Eve thing, okay? And while he's there, he's asked, what's his favorite thing about America? And he goes on a nice thing about how, we're all Americans, and everybody loves America, and this and that and this and that. It was a decent enough answer, and I like Dave Chappelle a lot, right? I really do. But he closed with something that made me raise some eyebrows. He is from Ohio, Dave lives in Cincinnati, I believe, or outside of Cincinnati. And he closed his interview with this. He was live in Yellow Springs, Ohio, while Cooper and Cohen were in Times Square. But this is how it closed.
Cheers to that.
And
cheers to that. Dave, yeah.
cheers. Hey, get me a beer, would you? And Mr. Trump, please leave those Haitians in Springfield alone. We love them. We love the Haitians.
So he ends with, leave those Haitians alone. Leave those Haitians alone. Mr. Trump, leave those Haitians alone. And I thought to myself, he must be one of the only people in Ohio who isn't sick of Haitians because he's probably living in a gated community and he doesn't have to deal with the Haitians in Ohio. Yet, when we start zooming out and we look at the Haitians that have been here on temporary protected status, it gets messier and messier and messier. A Haitian illegal alien allowed in by the Democrats has been arrested for killing his coworker with a knife in Coldwater, Michigan, the state just to the north of Ohio.
Volmir Jemsley appearing virtually in court Wednesday afternoon, in tears after learning of his homicide charge. Jemsley is accused of stabbing Clemens Food Group coworker Brandon Chavez after an argument about a knife.
I mean, isn't that so great? So the Haitian was allowed to take a job from an American, probably undercut the wages, and then he actually cut a coworker, murdering him.
Police say Chavez was using Jemsley's assigned knife, and Jemsley told authorities Chavez tried headbutting him when he gave it back, although no witnesses confirmed the headbutting happened, according to police. Documents reveal Jemsley admitted to swinging the knife at Chavez, ultimately stabbing him in the lower left part of his back. Chavez died from the injury shortly after.
Mr. Trump, please leave those Haitians alone. How about no? How about no? There was also another news story that's been making the rounds where a Haitian illegal alien was driving a truck. Yep, he was driving an 18-wheeler. Where we heard this before, and this Haitian illegal alien killed a cop. Actually,
the suspect involved in a deadly semi-truck crash has been identified as an illegal Haitian immigrant by law enforcement. He allegedly crashed into and killed a Pennsylvania state trooper. This comes amid the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigrants driving commercial vehicles.
Mr. Trump, says Dave Chappelle, please leave those Haitians alone. No, we won't.
CB Cotton is live from our New York City newsroom with the details. Hi, CB.
Hey, Mike. So investigators say this past Wednesday, Michael Bond, an illegal immigrant from Haiti, was behind the wheel of a tractor trailer that veered onto the shoulder of Interstate 81 in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, crashing into another semi and fatally striking trooper Mike Pajera, who was conducting another commercial vehicle inspection.
Will someone think of the poor Haitians here while Mr. Trump is being so tyrannical and evil, trying to deport them when they're here illegally, or trying to say that the temporary time on their temporary protected status has run up. And I would just say, I wish you would have that same energy for the families of that state trooper, of that food worker who they don't get to see their loved ones anymore because of the illegal alien Haitians that the Biden administration allowed in. Absolutely insane. But Dave Chappelle probably lives in a bit of a bubble, and he doesn't see that kind of stuff. So he just keeps saying,
Springfield alone. We love them.
Leave the Haitians alone. Please, sir, leave the Haitians alone.
Please leave those Haitians in Springfield alone. We love them.
I don't know, man. I saw the Facebook pages after the Supreme Court decision came out, and they struck down the temporary protected status, saying it's not permanent. It is temporary. And the Facebook pages, the community pages for Springfield, Ohio, were overjoyed at that Supreme Court decision. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. It's 9:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Hey, Jerry, guess who's in the Epstein files?
What?
Kramer.
A grand jury has formally indicted a man for tearing up the lining of the reflecting pool. We've got the story coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I hope they lock him up, Joan.
Yeah.
I don't care. Throw away the key. I was getting into it with my brother-in-law on vacation. He said that's a right-wing conspiracy theory. I said, okay.
Wait till you hear the story from Janine Pirro, who she tells the story here in this newscast coming up.
She's been a beast.
Yeah, she sure has.
She really has. People miss her on the 5, but she'd be working. She'd be
Is that
working.
more Ebonics?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm trying to work it in. I want to be the most inclusive show on the radio station.
You're nailing it.
Thank you, Joan.
Yeah.
Thank you. On the way, we're going to open up the phone lines. We're going to talk about the gubernatorial race. All the goobers have been dropping new ads. There's a debate that has been scheduled. 2/3 have signed on. Which one isn't going? You probably know. We'll also talk about the ads and the strategies, and we'll open up the phone lines, and I'll let you speak your piece on your favorite candidate. August 6th is the primary, and for all intents and purposes, here in the red state of Tennessee, that means August 6th is the general. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The U.S. and Iran exchanging fire last night after President Trump said he considered the ceasefire to be over after Iran struck oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM reports 3 Iranian Revolutionary Guard members were killed last night in U.S. strikes. 90 targets were hit, including a bridge in northern Iran. President Trump is back on U.S. soil today, but as he departed from Turkey last night, the Secret Service made a last-minute change to his travel itinerary. He did not board the new Air Force One that was gifted to him by Qatari royal family. He boarded instead the old Air Force One. Reporters questioning why.
Are you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force
Well, I have
One?
a threat all the time. I'm number 1 on their list before you. But if I go, you go. Right?
But was there a specific threat today?
Perhaps someday you want to change professions.
ABC News reporting that the Qatari plane doesn't have the same security capabilities. Former U.S. Olympic canoer David Hearn has pleaded not guilty to vandalizing the Lincoln reflecting pool. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro announcing his indictment by a grand jury.
Forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner with both hands. According to witnesses, Hearn damaged approximately 2 square feet of sealant from the bottom of the pool. A Parks employee actually told Hearn to stop. Hearn reacted by shouting at that Parks employee, saying that she cared too much since it wasn't her pool.
Hearn could face 10 years in prison. The tiny rural town of St. Joseph in Lawrenceburg County approving a measure last night to fully ban all data centers. Channel 4's Marius Payton.
The ordinance also includes language to prevent projects from being divided, renamed, phased, or structured in a way that attempts to avoid the ban. City officials said that provision is meant to ensure the ordinance protects residents in substance, not just on paper.
The town council saying there will be a public hearing, but a date has not yet been set. Today, it's official. It's out with the old and in with the new as Palm Beach International Airport becomes the President Donald J. Trump International Airport today. And some of the flyers there are more thrilled than others about the change.
I think it's a joke, and I'm going to fly in and out of Orlando from now on to get to my destination.
This woman, however, says it's good to honor people for their public service.
I think they're crazy. They want to get on I-95 and drive an hour south or 2 hours north. Go right ahead, but you know what? Just because of a name change to change your airport, come on.
You probably won't be surprised to hear this, but there are lawsuits challenging that name change. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You're welcome to join the show any way you'd like. 615-737-9986. That's the phone number. That's the text line. You can also jump in the chat over on YouTube. Hail to the chat. Rumble's jumping as well. We appreciate you guys watching the show on Super Talk TV. You can listen anywhere on all the apps, the FM dial, all the things. We got plenty of options, however you'd like to do it. So I want to break things down and talk about the governor's race. I was listening to Murphy yesterday. Did you hear Murphy? It's cotton picking season.
Did hear him say that?
It's I love it. I love it. It's a great way to put it. It's time for picking. You got to pick who you like. I also heard Murphy say that none of this is personal, and I think that that's a great place to start. Murphy did a fantastic job explaining it yesterday, but I'll just kind of echo what he said. All three candidates are nice. Like all three candidates seem like good people. I've met and spent time with all three candidates, not just in interview formats. Like John Rose was at a Christmas party I went to, and like very nice. Marsha Blackburn, we got to sit down with her. It was myself and Mandis and Benson, and she was very nice. Monty Fritz, I've known him for a while. Consider him a friend. I really do. And I don't actually have like a mean thing personally to say about any of them. And as Murphy put it yesterday, where we're at right now is business. And you know, you do risk pissing some people off. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every governor candidate is more than welcome on this show at any time they would request it. If John Rose texted me right now and said, hey, I'd like to come on, he's welcome to. If Monty Fritz texted me right now and said, hey, I want to come on, he's welcome to. If Marsha Blackburn's people texted me right now and said they wanted to come on, I'd say you're welcome to. It doesn't matter. Like I think that the people on this radio station would like to hear more from these candidates, not less, because you want to make an informed decision, and I think that that's a good thing. You are welcome to make an informed decision. And I think that you should make an informed decision. I hope that we get a full debate. I truly do. Part of the reason is I think that would honestly showcase the guy who I think is my favorite, Monty Fritz. I think Monty would absolutely excel. But as it stands right now, the only people that are willing to debate are John Rose and Monty Fritz. Now, you can make the argument that it is a good political strategy for Marsha Blackburn to not debate. And I would say, before you trash Marsha for that strategy, it's the same strategy that we said Donald Trump was smart for employing during the RNC primaries in 2023. 2024. We all said that that's the right decision. You have much more to lose in a debate than you have to gain as President Trump. And with Marsha being as far out ahead in the polls as everyone is claiming that she is, I'm not gonna dunk on her or trash her for that. I don't think that that's fair, and I think it's kind of hypocritical when a lot of us looked at Donald Trump doing that and said that was the right move. You're too far ahead. Why would you risk it? And we saw what happened with the Trump race. I don't know if you maybe you didn't notice. He won. Just in case you're keeping score at home, he did. He won handily. All the swing states, popular vote, electoral college vote, and maybe Marsha doesn't debate and she wins handily. You can absolutely make the argument that she only has something to lose in a debate, and that's fair if she doesn't want to. News Channel 5, however, is hosting a gubernatorial debate on July 20th, and I am going to have some popcorn ready, my friends. I am going to watch this debate because I'm excited about this debate, with or without Marsha Blackburn. And I think you could also make the argument that Marsha's going to give her opponents a lot more time to shine. We're going to cover it with vigor. We are going to watch it. I think a lot of Tennesseans are going to watch it. This is how News Channel 5 puts it. Tennesseans will choose a new governor this fall. Republican frontrunner U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn still has a commanding lead, but a new poll suggests the race is tightening. An internal poll released this week by Congressman John Rose's campaign said Blackburn has only a 15-point lead over Rose. Back in May, a Beacon Center poll found Blackburn's lead was more than 50 points. Rose's poll was conducted by McLaughlin and Associates, the same firm that conducts polling for President Trump. The group surveyed 600 likely Republican voters between June 28th and June 30th. Here are the results of that poll. Marsha Blackburn at 44%, John Rose at 29%, Monty Fritz at 12%, undecided at 15%. Now, I don't know how I would feel about this poll. I'm not so sure. I think it might be a little rosy towards Congressman Rose. And again, this is just business. This is not personal. I don't see any energy behind John Rose. And this is not a diss, no disrespect, Congressman Rose. He's been a good congressman, very conservative, no disrespect. I just don't see any energy behind him. And anytime you click on a John Rose post or a Marsha Blackburn post, there you find the Fritz comments. Okay? Anytime that you click on a Fritz post, I don't see anybody saying, I'm going to go vote for John Rose. And anecdotally speaking, when I'm driving into the office every day, I see a lot more Monty Fritz signs than I see John Rose signs. It's just, this is just, I'm just observing. That's just what I'm looking at. I see a lot more Monty Fritz signs. I see barely any Marsha Blackburn signs too. And maybe you can confirm or deny this on the text line. Maybe I'm just in an area where I'm not seeing it. Maybe there's a strong Rose coalition in Chattanooga or Knoxville or Western Tennessee where I'm not at a lot. Maybe. It's fully possible. That's why I say it's only anecdotal. But they say that this poll, where Marsha's at 44, Rose is at 29, Fritz is at 12, and undecided is at 15, was conducted before Senator Blackburn's awkward elevator interview with News Channel 5's Ben Hall. The Rose poll claims that just 35% of likely Republican voters indicated they have a positive, favorable opinion of the senator. Blackburn's campaign is disputing Rose's internal polling, and they point to several recent polls by the Tennesseans for Student Success Action. Those polls conducted around the same time period found Blackburn had a favorability rating of at least 63%. Early voting for the August 6th primary begins late next week, and News Channel 5 says they want to ensure you have all the information before heading to the polls. That's why News Channel 5, along with the League of Women Voters and Cumberland University, is hosting a live GOP gubernatorial debate. It will take place on Monday, July 20th at Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee at 6:30 p.m. They will carry the 90-minute debate live on air and online. They've invited the top three candidates, Congressman John Rose, State Representative Monty Fritz. Those guys have agreed to take part. They're still waiting to hear from Senator Marsha Blackburn. So I guess we start there. Do you think Marsha Blackburn shows up to the poll? To the debate? I don't. I think that it's not a wise move for her. And if I was advising her campaign, I would tell her to sit it out. I'm just being honest. I would. Why? Why would you do that? Honestly. Name recognition alone, Blackburn is light years ahead of these guys. She just is. And you open yourself up to get dunked on in a debate. I don't think Marsha wants to do that. So I don't think Marsha's going to join the debate. However, that could backfire. Because then you're giving, 45 minutes to Rose and 45 minutes to Fritz to dunk on you when you're not allowed to play any defense. So there's that. You do run some risk there anyway. And I wouldn't necessarily put Rose or Fritz in the same category as the challengers to Donald Trump in that primary debate. I don't see either of them being as soft or as weak as guys like Chris Christie or as hawkish as Nikki Haley. It's a different class of candidate. So you're running the risk either way. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't for Marsha Blackburn. Catch 22, but I think that you're running less risk sitting it out. At least you don't have any viral moments where you have a blank expression on your face or you can't answer a question. Not saying that there would be, but there's no chance of it happening if she doesn't go. So the debate's July 20th. Blackburn out, essentially. She hasn't confirmed or denied yet. Rose and Fritz are in. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the strategies. Okay, let's game plan this out. Have you been paying attention to the strategies? Marsha and John Rose have a lot of advertising money. They do. I mean, it's just the reality of the game that's being played. You're hearing Rose's ads all over this station. You're hearing Marsha's ads all over this station. We're seeing them on TV. They clearly have a massive budget for this. Monty Fritz does not. So Marsha and John Rose, they're leaning into this. And Marsha, at least from the outside looking in, I don't have the numbers to back this up, but it looks like she has the most money, right? I think that's a fair assumption. I think if you dug into it, you would find that to be true. But Marsha's ad strategy just seems off. And I had a friend who's pretty politically connected, and he told me, Marsha's not looking to convince me or younger voters with her ad strategy. She's going after older voters because it's the older voters that vote in primaries, which is a damn shame, just being honest. And especially in a state like Tennessee, the primary is essentially the general election here. But if we're being honest about Marsha's ads, they are absolutely cringeworthy.
How hard am I gonna crack down on China? Well, here's a clue.
Marsha Blackburn worked with President Trump to take on communist China. As governor, Marsha will fight.
So she's just crunching up fortune cookies. It's cringy. It's cringy. It seems like her strategy is a decade old, if not two. And I watched it, and it's just an embarrassing ad. I don't know how to put it any other way. And if I was running a campaign, there is no way I would ever let her put out an ad like that. I just wouldn't. But she's kind of running a basement campaign here. I mean, we saw the elevator interview, and she's like, I talk to Tennesseans every day. But this is a federal event, and it's like, it doesn't really fly. It doesn't fly. To her credit, she had a great interview with Dan. She sat down with Dan, and Dan had great interviews with Rose and great interviews with Fritz. It's like Marsha's been on this show. I don't necessarily think she's hiding, but she's definitely not answering tough questions. She's just not. John Rose, well, he's got an ad strategy too, and he's been positioning himself as just a working man, a regular guy, a CEO, and a lot more like Trump than any of the other candidates. And that's fair. He's also been doing a lot of town halls and sit-downs, kind of an Ask Me Anything type format around the state, shaking a lot more hands than I'm seeing Marsha Blackburn doing. And he had an ad out that I saw on social media that was calling for a debate, because I think he understands that a debate with Marsha could absolutely help him. And it says, does voters deserve a debate? John Rose has been calling for one since August 2025.
The people of Tennessee deserve to know, what would she do as governor? Why does she want to be governor? And I think debates would be the way to get at that.
Congressman John Rose has not won a statewide race and is not as well known as Senator Marsha Blackburn. But he is ready to make the case that he should be the Republican nominee for governor.
My opponent is a career legislator. That's the experience she has.
Says John Rose isn't waiting.
We've been traveling across the state on our Tennessee True Tour, where I've been taking unfiltered questions and giving unscripted answers. I hope you'll join us on the tour, and I hope you'll join me at the table.
That's Rose's strategy in a nutshell, and he has a lot of marketing money to put behind it. Monty Fritz does not have the marketing budget. Monty Fritz does not have the PAC money. Monty Fritz doesn't have the big client donors. But what Fritz has been doing is going scorched earth on social media. And Fritz's social media strategy, I think, is way more 2026 than any of the other candidates. And while John Rose is pretending that Monty Fritz doesn't exist, Monty Fritz has been going after both of these guys. Here, can you pull that down for 1 second, Mason? I want to get through these Fritz ads real quick. So this is one social media reel from Monty Fritz, and it's going directly at John Rose and Marsha Blackburn.
John Rose. Yes. Hey, why are you in D.C. meeting with lobbyists and PACs? Why are you in the swamp? Come on, John. Give me an answer.
Hi there, it's Marsha Blackburn. Let me be direct. Data centers are going to be a good and important part of Tennessee's economic growth.
Aren't you sick of compromised politicians who will tell you anything they think you want to hear just to get you to vote for them? Aren't you sick of politicians who continue to take your money and send it out in a redistribution of wealth to their chosen, to their select, while many of your neighbors in the holler across or the holler behind us can't afford to buy groceries, that have forgotten the oath to the Constitution that they've taken, who hide behind the cover that someone else provides to them? I'm sick of it. That's why I'm running for governor.
That's Fritz's strategy. Balls to the wall on social media. I think it aligns up with social media in 2026 far more than anything I'm seeing from Blackburn or Rose.
I'm disgusted with Congress. They send $5 billion to refugee welfare. Thank you, Congressman Rose. They vote to hide sexual improprieties amongst their peer group. Thank you, Congressman Rose. They sneak through airports so they don't have to vote to put poor federal workers who have not been paid back to work. Thank you, Senator Blackburn. They certify illegitimate elections. Thank you, Senator Blackburn. Aren't you sick of this? Do you trust them to come in and lead Tennessee? I don't. I feel like God has called me to run for governor, and I'm asking for your vote.
So Monty Fritz has been going way more scorched earth on social media, and that's been his strategy. And he's also been hitting the podcast circuit as well. Have you seen any of this stuff? Am I, because I could be too much online. And that's very, very much a possibility. But I see far more from the Fritz campaign online than I do from Blackburn or Rose. I see the views way higher for the Fritz campaign than I do Blackburn or Rose. And it seems like the Fritz supporters, they keep putting themselves in the comments of Blackburn and Rose. So we're going to open up the phone lines here after the break and get your take. Who are you voting for? Who do you like? Why? Let's game plan this thing out and let's talk about it. August 6th is the primary. July 20th is the debate. Do you think Marsha's going to show up? 615-737-9986. We'll take a little bit of time. We'll spend a good chunk of this hour talking about this because I want to hear from you. It's 1023 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand giving you my seal of approval on the brand new tech over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. There's not many things I'll give you 100% seal of approval on, but when it comes to Dr. Mitchell and the healing and cutting edge technology at the Wellness Institute, I'm all in. They've done it again with the brand new Medical Bay 1. This is a futuristic healing machine designed by Dr. Mitch himself. You sit back like you're in an Artemis spaceship getting a full body massage while red light, near infrared, and photon wavelengths light up your cells exactly how God designed them to respond. And it stimulates your stem cells for real tissue regeneration. This is epic healing only at the Wellness Institute. Now, don't forget, that's not all they do. They also have non-surgical spinal decompression. They're not going to offer you painful injections. They're not going to push surgery, and they're not going to prescribe you opioids. Right now, they're running the Epic Spinal Special, $33 off each visit. Launch your pain-free voyage today. It's a click or a call away. Painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. You got a lot of summer left. Get back to enjoying it pain-free. Painisbad.com.
The Guaranteed Offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with the Guaranteed Offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
We'll tell you why Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is making an appearance in Tennessee today, coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Headlines on the way in less than 2 minutes. We're talking about the gubernatorial race. You're welcome to weigh in. I hope that you do. 615-737-9986. A lot of people like Monty Fritz, but they're saying he doesn't have the deep pockets that Rose or Blackburn has. 7166. I like Fritz, but he'll never win against those with deep pockets. 7789. What sucks is Marsha will win. Here's the thing. I get why people are anti-Marsha Blackburn, and a lot of that goes back to the 2020 election. And I'm not here to be a champion or a defender of any of them, but Marsha Blackburn is also the reason why we don't have a state income tax. Like, you got to give her flowers where flowers are due. And I don't think that any of these three would be a terrible governor for Tennessee, but I do think that there are some key differences between them. And I don't want to weigh in too much. I want to let you guys weigh in. Let's go to Steven on the road. Your thoughts on the gubernatorial race?
Yeah, hey Chris, thanks for taking my call, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I appreciate Marsha and all her hard work and everything, but also I'm looking at, if the states are gonna, like, the governor for our state, it seems like all of Congress and the Senate, they're all kind of like the man behind the curtain. You get people like Fritz out here that, he shows he's kind of like he's out there, right? He's on social media. So you get somebody like him out there who seems like, let's just say if our state was to secede in the near future, what kind of person would we want as our governor running our state? Do we want a man hiding behind the curtain, or do we want somebody like Monty Fritz? And I think I'm going to definitely go with Fritz on this one. No disrespect to anybody else, but it's just, Chris, man, you know how it is, man. You got, 635 people in our government controlling the whole body of our government, controlling, 180 million to 200 million people's money, income tax-wise. And so, plus we'll put the president in there, too. So 636 people controlling 180 million people's taxes. There's really, it's like a den of thieves in both parties within that body. So, and whatever the majority is going to do, they're going to do. But I think on a local level, on a state level, we need to think about somebody that's going to be a fighter. And from what I'm seeing, from what he's showing on the internet is, yeah, he's one of those. He's not going to be one of the people behind the curtains.
I hear you, man. And Steve, I appreciate the call, and I appreciate your input. We'll take more of your calls on the way. 615-737-9986. It's 1031. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The FBI was seen searching a home in Smyrna this morning, confirming to WSMV4 they had executed a search warrant at the home on Percival Street. Agents in marked vest were seen at the home. They say it's part of an ongoing investigation, but no additional information as to what's behind it. We'll bring you information as we learn more. A mother who has been reported missing in Spring Hill now turned up dead in Ohio. News 2's Maggie Weaver says 37-year-old Amber Graham took her 8-year-old daughter on a trip to Ohio earlier this month.
A family friend says Graham told them that she was traveling to Ohio to meet someone she had connected with while playing Xbox.
Amber's talking to this guy she calls Huckleberry or Red, one of those two names, on Xbox playing Call of Duty, and she's taking her daughter to go up there and meet him.
Understanding is that, she didn't appear to have any signs of abuse or any issues physically or medically that they were concerned about. It's just the fact that she was by herself.
Now, in a statement, Spring Hill police say the daughter was found safe. They say, quote, Graham's 8-year-old child is in the custody of the Ohio Department of Children and Youth.
And no arrests so far. Graham Plattner dropping out of the Senate race in Maine, the Democratic nominee facing allegations of sexual misconduct, and the latest allegation involves sexual assault of a former girlfriend. Plattner denying all allegations.
After a standoff with state Democrats, Plattner taking parting shots at party leaders, who by Maine law now have just over 2 weeks to replace him on the ballot.
Party apparatchiks are not the ones to make these decisions. These decisions need to be made in the open by the people of this state. The people who got us here.
ABC's Jay O'Brien reporting. And Tennessee is welcoming Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent today. He's here to unveil the new name of an I-40 bridge near Douglas Lake in Jefferson County. It's now called the President Donald J. Trump Bridge. Bessent attending that ceremony alongside Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, Senators Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty, and Congressman Tim Burchett, among others. Lots of love for that name change. Just over 80% of voters in Jefferson County voted for Trump in 2024. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. Take a second and picture your valuables. You know, the things you don't want to lose. Your family photo albums, your heirlooms. Maybe you got some firearms, some jewelry, old coins, precious metals. Maybe it's a guitar collection. Whatever it is, whatever those things are, you know that you're not going to be able to replace them. Not easily, at least. Now, imagine if you experienced a fire or a burglary and you lost all those things or even some of those things. That's not going to feel good. And many people have experienced that exact thing happen in their lives. Well, what if I told you that there was a way to remedy that so it never happened to you? And it starts with one phone call, and you don't have to worry about that scenario. The phone call you make is to Parker Safes and Vaults. They've been helping people protect what they treasure for close to 20 years. You make that call, and the experts at Parker Safes will help you choose the right safe for your needs and your budget. They'll deliver it. They'll install it. They're going to help you like they've helped so many people. This is a veteran-owned, family-run, Christian family business, and they specialize in safes. They've been doing it since 2009. Serious products designed for serious protection. Liberty, American Security, Rhino, Heyman, Graf Hunter. Just a few of the safes under the roof at Parker Safes and Vaults. Right now, you should give them a call. They have so many good reviews. A lot of people like working with Aaron and his sons. You're going to like it too. 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445, or find them online at parkersafes.com.
Yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people.
38 minutes past the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us as well. We're on Super Talk TV. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. The comment section, the chat over on YouTube, always unhinged, always lovable. It's a weird combo, but we appreciate them. Hail to the chat. Shout out to Rumble as well. You guys, we're talking about the governor race here in Tennessee. Monty Fritz, John Rose, Marsha Blackburn, those are the three. The primary is on August 6th. And in this state, you can make the argument that the primary is the general. We are deep red here in Tennessee. I think that the primary matters far more than what happens in November. I could be wrong. You know, the crazier things have happened. Maybe a Democrat will surprise us. Sorry, probably not. So who do you like? And why do you like them? 615-737-9986. Let's go to AJ in Cookeville. What's up, AJ? How are you?
Doing well, and thanks for taking my call, Chris.
Yes, sir. What do you got?
All right, so I like John, down to earth, farmer, made his own bones, love him to death, and straight up, Monty Fritz has done a great job of allowing the left to make him look wacky, and at this point, all he's doing, either by accident or by design, is helping Marsha get a plurality. That's because she's not going to get a majority, but she might get a plurality, and it's going to be thanks to Monty Fritz, who's going to come in third, and it's not going to be close.
Couldn't you say the exact same thing about John Rose to Monty Fritz?
No, because he's going to come in second, and it's not going to be close. But I think the two of them combined will be more than 50%, and she's going to win with about 38 to 42%. But it'll be enough to put her across the line for a plurality. And whoever comes in third, and it's going to be Monty, is the spoiler, because he's done a great job of helping people make him look wacky.
Do you volunteer for the Rose campaign?
No, I don't. No, I support him, but I do not knock on doors for him. I do not work for the Rose campaign.
Have you donated to the Rose campaign?
I have not.
Oh, interesting. Do you know John personally?
I do.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. I think John is a nice guy, but I only hear this kind of energy from people that are very close to him.
And again, I mean, whoever comes in third, and it'd be my bet, I bet you the internet coke on it, that it's going to be Monty coming in third, and hopefully a lot of those people, and he's a good guy, and I'm going to preface this by saying, whoever is the nominee, I'm not going to have to plug my nose to vote for in November.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Whoever wins the Republican nomination, yes, I'm voting for them in November, and I'm going to be full bore ahead, because I don't think that there's a bad choice among the bunch. What about Monty do you think is wacky?
I don't think Monty is wacky. I think he's done a good job of letting himself be painted that way. That he should never have done that. I guess he did the interview with that guy from Channel
Phil Williams,
Channel 5. Yeah, Phil Williams. He did a good job of making himself look that way. I think Monty Fritz is a fine gentleman. I just think he's now if he gets the nomination, he's going to win, but he's not going to get the nomination.
But see, wouldn't you? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Sure.
When the left-wing media is attacking one candidate more than the others, and in this case, it does appear to be that they're attacking Monty more than others, and they're attacking Blackburn a fair amount as well. Don't you think it's because they view them as a threat?
I don't know. If he was in the lead, I would agree with you, but he's not. He just isn't. And I think it's because he made it pretty. He just makes it kind of easy for them to do that. And again, I believe he's a fine gentleman. I really do. And if he gets the nomination, I'll have my Fritz sign in my front yard, and I'll wear my Fritz T-shirt. No problem at all.
Have you seen any left-wing media hit pieces on John Rose?
I don't think I have.
Me either. Isn't that kind of a tell?
I don't think there's just not a whole lot to really smack him on.
I think you could find some things. I mean, at least in this audience, everybody says that John's got skeletons in his closet. I don't know. It's not for me to decide. But I think if you were trying hard enough, you can find something to ding anybody on anything these days.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And again, as I said, I will vote for the R, and I won't have to plug my nose.
I would just say I just lean in on and again, this is no disrespect to John, but when you're not being attacked, it's because they don't see you as a threat.
And that's possible too, but you would think they'd be going harder against Marcia since if I was a betting man, and I am, as of right now, my money would be that she would get a plurality, not a majority.
I tend to lean there as well. Hey, AJ, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you.
Let's go to Jason in Milton. What's up, Jason? How are you?
Great. How are you doing today, Chris?
Good. What are you thinking about the governor race? Who do you like?
Well, I've got a little bit to say about all of them, if that's okay.
Hit me. Let's run through rapid fire.
One with Marcia. We talk about how she is responsible for us not having a state income tax. Well, in reality, May Beavers led that charge, and Marcia didn't get involved until she saw the way that it was going, until she saw that it was going to be the winning side. And she even went around with May Beavers once she did get on board with it, doing rallies, doing speeches, talking to groups. And so she went to the first one with May, and then she goes to the second one with May. Marcia goes first, May goes second. And she essentially, at the second event, stole May's entire speech from the first event and goes first and leaves May out there high and dry with either she can go out and look like a fool with nothing to say, or she can go out and repeat what Marcia said because Marcia stole her speech.
I'll say this on that front. You may be 100% correct. I don't know that for sure. I wasn't here when that fight happened, but I will tell you this. I know people that were here when that fight happened, and I have never heard May's name brought up in that discussion. I have heard Uncle Phil's name brought up in that discussion, Phil Valentine, saying that he deserves more credit than Marcia Blackburn. But I also heard that Marcia and Phil were working together behind the scenes a lot to try to make that be shut down. I've never heard May's name in that discussion. I could be wrong, agree to disagree.
I was here.
Okay.
Yeah, I was here, and that is a fact. So I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know how many people bring it up in conversation, honestly. But so there's that. But I will say, to her credit, we're planning a trip to Washington, D.C. We're trying to coordinate like tours of the White House, tours of the Capitol, all that. So we write Bill Haggerty, we write Marcia Blackburn, or their office anyway, and we write John Rose. And we have yet to hear back from Haggerty, and we've never heard back from John Rose, but Marcia Blackburn's office was on it. She's really helped us out. She's done a lot. So she knows how to run an office, at least. But I do feel like she's the worst of the three candidates. She's also sending out mailers that she is in support of not having school board zones, so people from other counties can come in if they work in the county, and their kids can go to school out of their school board zone. That's going to be a disaster for local school boards and school zones and school districts. That's that. But John Rose doesn't even seem to be able to run his office at this point, much less run a state. And I feel like John Rose would just kind of tinker around the edges. He would be better than Marcia, for sure, but he would just tinker around the edges, try to work within the existing structure to change. And that's not really what we need. I think Monty Fritz is the best one because I think he will actually get in there and do things to help, not just run ads describing the problems. He will actually work to find the solution when he's in there. I think he's a fighter. I don't think he's bought and paid for by special interests. I just think he'd be the better one. I think Marcia would be the worst one.
Well, that's your opinion, man, and I do agree. I like your take on Monty. I do, and full disclosure, and I'm not hiding from it. Jason, I appreciate the call. I am going to be voting for Monty Fritz. I like Monty a lot. I will support whoever the Republican nominee is in November, obviously, like with all of my support because that's just what we're going to do. But I want a absolute barn burner of a primary, and I hope that Marsha Blackburn takes up News Channel 5 on this debate on July 20th. Rose and Fritz are in. Let's go to Dennis in the borough. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Dennis? How are you?
Hey, good. Thank you, Chris, for taking my call. Appreciate what you're doing. And glad they're going to have, at least it's going to be a debate offered. I hope Marsha joins them. I appreciate the gentleman that just explained about Blackburn and really not she's taking credit for something she never really did. She just got out in front of the parade on the tax situation. And if you don't believe that, those that remember David Fowler, the retired state senator from East Tennessee, if you'll follow him on Facebook, he'll explain it all. Marsha's an opportunistic person who gets out there when she finds out where the wind's blowing. Secondly, John Rose has started two businesses. He's a multi-million-dollar businesses that he's started and sold. He's a businessman. He understands what's going on. He's learned his ropes in Congress. He was in the state legislature. I wish Fritz and Rose would get together, and Monty is a good guy. By the way, tell me, what does Monty Fritz, what is his occupation outside of the government service? I really don't know. I'm asking a question there.
He's got military service. He's got nuclear science background. He's a super smart guy.
Has he run a business?
I don't think he has.
Okay. So I wish what would happen with those two would get together, and one of them say, if I win, I want to support you, and when my term's up, I'll get you in, because I think they are good folks. But if both of them keep running, it's going to make it very difficult to beat Marsha. Okay.
Yep.
So I wish they would do that. And finally, and an older person, the third point just skipped me. So Chris, you'll understand that when you get my age one day. Okay.
Well, Dennis,
thank you for what you're doing.
Dennis, if it comes back to you, man, you're welcome to call in anytime. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
I appreciate you, man. I do think. Listen, Dennis's point is right there. Rose and Fritz. They're each going to spoil it for the other one, right? Like, if Marsha wins, it's a fair assumption that Fritz could point at Rose and Rose could point at Fritz and say, if it wasn't for you, I'd be governor. That's fair. That's fair. But when you look at the strategy, Fritz is the outsider. He's going scorched earth on social media. Rose is definitely dumping a lot of money into the ad budget. He's definitely got a lot of money behind him. He's doing the town halls and shaking hands. I actually did see Marsha Blackburn was out today with Tim Burchett getting milkshakes. I think they were in Knoxville. They were at Hoskins. I hadn't heard of it before. Maybe that's my fault. They were at Burchett's all the way in behind Marsha Blackburn. Hoskins Drugstore. Hoskins? Hoskins. Is that in Knoxville?
Yeah.
Is it well known?
I think for locals, yeah, it's a bigger shop.
Is it that ice cream shop that's like right there downtown? That's like old timey.
Yeah,
I know which one you're talking about. Cool little spot. But yeah, Burchett was out there with Marsha Blackburn today. So Marsha's out there. She's shaking hands and kissing babies. Rose is out there shaking hands and kissing babies. Fritz has been door knocking. I mean, Fritz is like his campaign is social media and door knocking. Rose is definitely doing the Ask Me Anything tour and a lot of ad money. And Marsha Blackburn seems to be doing some door knocking, some meeting and shaking hands, kissing babies, a lot of ad money, and a lot of leaning on the name recognition. I did look it up, though. May Beavers, former Tennessee State Senator May Beavers, best known for her fierce advocacy against implementing a state income tax in Tennessee. In the late 90s and early 2000s, when then Governor Doug Sundquist proposed a state income tax, Beavers led the legislative fight to defeat it. She strongly believed that the income tax hindered economic growth. Later, she was a key sponsor of legislative efforts, including Senate Joint Resolution 763, passed in 2010, to clarify that a state income tax is unconstitutional in Tennessee. Is that for real? Is Marsha Blackburn doing a little stolen valor on the state income tax? Is it stolen valor? Would you call that stolen valor? I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I talk to Johnny B a lot. I'm a huge Phil Valentine fan. And when I first started working here and I was talking with Johnny B, one of the things I wanted was like, just to tell me the tales. And when they talked about that state income tax and Johnny B was telling me what was going on behind the scenes, May's name never came up. Marsha's did. So that's the extent of where I got that information from. I'm open to being wrong though. I really am. I always am. 10:53 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well. Good. We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little
Okay.
further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call or reach USSTN.com and
Sure.
schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt,
All
we
right.
appreciate you.
Drivers, I'm not sure why, but eastbound 24 is coming to a complete stop where you merge with 65 there north of downtown. And federal safety regulators are warning self-driving car companies to fix a growing problem. We'll tell you about that coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. I got a text here. 9875. 9875 says, I won't be voting for Marcia or John because of their expressed willingness to subvert the will of the people based on their beliefs. If they will do that on legal weed, they will do it on other issues as well. That's not what a representative is supposed to be. So Monty will be getting my vote. That's in reference to a question that I asked all three candidates, and that was if the state legislature brought a bill to your desk for medical marijuana, not recreational, but medical. You know, you're dealing with cancer, you're dealing with epilepsy, you got kids dealing with that. Would you sign or veto that bill? And I asked all three candidates this. Rose said he would veto it. Blackburn said he would veto it. Monty Fritz said he was for it, and he was actually talking about this on a podcast just the other day.
But the first one was a neighbor of mine. I won't mention his name.
Okay.
But he happens to suffer from epilepsy. And he said, Monty, how would you feel about, access to medical marijuana? And I said, and so I talked to him. I did a little research. My buddy Chris Hand down at Super Talk, that's one of the questions he usually asks. He says, where do you stand on this? I said, well, I'm still debating all this. This is what I've committed to. I've committed, because Chris asked me the question on the air a month ago or so. He said, if the General Assembly brings a medical marijuana bill, would you sign it into law or veto it? I said, I want to do something a little bit different because I support us having access to natural. Let's develop a good policy that lets Tennesseans exercise their liberty.
Okay.
But three conditions I have, and I told Chris this: get Big Pharma out of it.
Absolutely.
Big Pharma will take a natural. We did it with opioids
and synthesize anything.
And they'll synthesize it, and they'll make it more addictive. And your friends and my friends will find themselves in penitentiaries and dead as a result of it.
Absolutely.
Because Big Pharma don't care.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's what I refer to jokingly, and I'm saying with this with a smile on my face, the Colorado Pothead Lobby has the same kind of approach. I think there are many people, they don't care how stoned we stay, just so long as they can make money from it. And I think they need to be kicked out of the room that makes the policy. And then the third group, and you're going to think I'm being hypocritical here. I promise you I'm not. There are people in government that want to convince us this is bad, bad, bad. But if you'll let me tax it enough, we'll let you do it.
That's Monty's take on medical marijuana. It's 11:01 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Federal safety regulators are warning self-driving car companies to fix a growing problem. These vehicles are interfering with first responders. ABC's Dave Packer.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is telling self-driving vehicle developers to improve the way their cars respond to emergency scenes. The agency says it's documented cases where autonomous vehicles drove into active incidents, blocked ambulances and fire trucks, or failed to recognize flashing lights, traffic cones, smoke, and other warning signs. The agency says those failures put both first responders and the public at risk. Officials plan to meet with autonomous vehicle developers later this month to hear how they plan to solve the problem. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Better be careful what you put in your eyes. More than 2.5 million bottles of prescription eye drops are being recalled nationwide. The FDA says Lupin Pharmaceuticals is recalling certain bottles of prednisolone acetate ophthalmic suspension because they may contain a foreign substance. The medication is commonly prescribed to treat eye inflammation, redness, and swelling. Patients are urged to check their lot numbers and contact their pharmacist or eye doctor if their prescription is affected. And the week-long preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson, accused of killing Charlie Kirk, continues. There are plans to play a video in court Actually, plans to play a video in court yesterday hit a roadblock with hours of debate about whether the video should be played in open court. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
For hours on Wednesday, attorneys and the court debated showing a video that allegedly includes Tyler Robinson's former roommate and romantic partner talking about Robinson confessing to killing Charlie Kirk. Robinson's defense attorneys argued letting the public hear a so-called confession would influence a future jury pool and would violate Robinson's right to a fair trial. Judge Tony Graff ruling to not influence an eventual jury, chunks of the video shown in open court must be edited out. The edited video will be played first thing Thursday morning. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Rising prices appear to be keeping potential home buyers on the sidelines. ABC's Jim Ryan says sales of pre-owned houses were down in most parts of the country last month.
The one bright spot for sellers was the Northeast, where existing home sales rose from May to June. Nationally, though, sales were down 2.4% month over month. Looking back to 2025, though, the National Association of Realtors says sales of pre-owned homes jumped 2.8% between June of last year and June of this.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I love this audience, the vast staff. They've been weighing in. A lot of people think it was stolen valor, that it was May Beaver that got the state income tax shut down.
Not pointing fingers.
They're just shutting it down. I don't know. I wasn't here. I'll lean on you guys to let me know what's going on. But the majority of the audience, this audience, giving credit exactly where it's due. That's Uncle Phil Valentine and the honking of the horns. R.I.P. I did get one text from Sally. He said, Burchett, Marcia, and Haggerty. They're all wasting time renaming a bridge for Donald Trump. You do your damn jobs. I would push back on that. I think we need more bridges named after Donald Trump. I think that we could get creative with it. I think that we should just call it like the Donald Trump span, the Donald Trump arch, the Donald Trump aqueduct, the footbridge, the Donald Trump catwalk, the Donald Trump trestle. You know, like I feel like we don't have enough bridges in this state named after Donald Trump. How many is enough? All of them. Name them all after Donald Trump. I think that's a good use of time. Don't threaten me with a good bridge naming. What?
Like to bridge the gap, one Trump at a time.
Look, hey, where do I turn? You're gonna want to take a left at the Donald Trump overpass. I'm not saying that they should all be named the Donald Trump Bridge. I think we could get creative.
Maybe throw some DJT in there.
We could even throw in some like unconventional ones. We could call it the Donald Trump Link. The Trump Connector.
Ooh, I like that one.
You know? The Trump Bond. I think we could do it. I think we should do it more.
The Bond.
The Bond.
The Trump Bond.
The Trump Bond. We could call it a conduit. The Trump Conduit. I think we could have fun. I think we should name as many bridges after Donald Trump in this state as possible. And then we should name more of them. The work is good if you can get it. So I'm here for it. Somebody said the Donald Trump Gateway. Nelson says the United States of Donald Trump. Don't tempt me with a good time. I'm here for it. I think that'd be great. I think. Oh wait, he said I didn't say don't name the bridge after Donald Trump. I was saying keep your asses in D.C. All right. Yeah, that's right. Get locals to rename the bridges. You're right. That's a good point. Don't need you guys there. Somebody said the 45-47 aerial pass. I'm just here for it. Brian said the Golden Trump Bridge makes San Francisco great again. Josh said the Donald Trump BNA hole. There we go. Have we got any updates on the BNA hole? Is that thing flowing yet?
Not flowing, but I know they broke ground on it.
I was under the impression they would be done by now.
Me too.
That's not going to happen, is it? It's going to be the tunnel to nowhere.
Got a ticket to ride to Dead End.
The Orange Man Bad Bridge. That's the one in East Nashville. All right, cool. So we got some stuff to talk about. I'm happy to take more calls if you guys want to keep doing the gubernatorial stuff. I did get one text from who sent it to me. I forget who it was. We got a lot of texts, so I apologize. But I'd seen this poll before, and I thank them for sending it in because it's worth bringing up. Everybody's got polls. Everybody's measuring their polls. And they say Blackburn's way ahead. Rose puts out an internal campaign poll that says he's actually a lot more in second than anybody's given him credit for. But I got one here from the Tennessee Firearms Association that was released late June. And it says that currently the Tennessee Firearms Association, they had a statewide online poll conducted from June 17th to June 23rd. Okay? And for the Tennessee Firearms Association, according to their poll, Monty Fritz is in the lead with 46%. John Rose is in second with 35%. Marsha Blackburn is in third with 13%. Yikes. That's crazy, right? Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you weight these things. They all just help paint a picture, snapshot in time, right? And when you talk about a Tennessee Firearms Association poll, like, yes, they said statewide. Yes, it was online, but it's also like that's a niche part of the state. Niche. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a Nikkei.
Yeah. You know who's not doing good in the polls? Graham Plattner.
Yeah.
I think that he's seen his last poll. He's dropping out. I'm a little disappointed. Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy that it happened. You know?
Get them out. Throw them out into the coat. Don't give them their coat. No coat.
He dropped out of the Maine Senate race because the rape allegations. I know. You got to take these allegations seriously. But the Democrats should have vetted this guy in the first place, and now the voters chose this guy, and they're gonna pick somebody else. They're gonna Kamala Harris the Maine Senate race. That is tough. I mean, who wants to be the Democrat that has to go in there and have a month worth of campaigning? Who wants to sign up for that? Somebody that wants power, obviously. But Graham Plattner is done. The Democrat machine in Maine has forced him out. And you just have to wonder why. President Trump was asked about this last night on the flight back from the NATO summit in Turkey. And he said, he kind of called it out. He's like, there were other rape allegations, except the woman that was accusing him was a Republican, and the media didn't care about it, and the Democrats didn't care about it, and they said it was politically motivated. But all of a sudden, when a new allegation comes out, and the woman happens to be a Democrat, now you have to take it seriously.
Democrats, do you think that the Democrats should be able to pick a replacement for Graham Plattner? He's had all these new allegations that have come out. Now Democrats are talking about picking a replacement for him. Should they be able to do that?
They're picking what?
A replacement for Graham Plattner if he steps out of the race.
So he won the primary.
And now there's these new allegations.
It's very hard for them to do. And it's really a question of whether or not you believe the woman. A lot of people say big falsehoods. It's he's in a bind. He's in a bind. But should they be able to do it? Well, I guess he's going to lose. I would imagine he's going to lose. It's very interesting when a Republican woman came out with the same charge, nobody believed her. When this woman came out, everybody believed her. Right, Doug? Did you get any pictures of it, Doug?
Believe all women, they say, only if they vote the right way. That's a big caveat there. So Graham Plattner is out. Senator John Fetterman is actually demanding that Bernie Sanders apologize for pushing this communist and alleged rapist Graham Plattner for Maine U.S. Senate. That's pretty crazy. Like Fetterman breaks with the Democrat Party on quite a few issues. But to come out and say Bernie Sanders should apologize for this, that's a big statement. I think a lot of Democrats should apologize for pushing this. Plattner's out. That's it. He's cooked. He's done. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance was in Milwaukee yesterday. Vice President Vance was out in Milwaukee to talk about the surge in the war on fraud. If there's anything that can make you a little bit less black-pilled these days, it is the war on fraud. What they've been able to do with the Anti-Fraud Task Force in such a short period of time has been nothing short of spectacular. And Vance yesterday announced that they are targeting H-1B fraud, H-1B visa fraud, and fraud within the program because he doesn't want people taking advantage of it. And he did this in Milwaukee.
Today, I'm proud to announce that the Federal Department of Labor has started dozens of subpoenas and investigations into foreign fraudsters who are trying to take advantage of the H-1B visa program. Here's a simple principle. Ladies and gentlemen, American jobs ought to go to American workers and not foreign fraudsters, and the Department of Labor is fighting back against it.
I hope that you don't just go after the fraud. Like, I hope that they go after more. What was it? It was Xbox just laid off a ton of workers, thousands of workers, but they also applied for a ton of H-1B visas in this past year. So they're laying off American workers, but they're hiring foreign workers for what you can only assume would be less money. I'm not a huge fan of H-1B visas at all. I think that we should be generating the talent in this country so that way we don't need the H-1B visas, especially when you're staring down the barrel of AI optimization and the amount of jobs that are going to be lost in this country. The fact that we would bring in anybody to do a job an American could do, I think, is an absolute travesty. And I hope that J.D. Vance gets laser focused on that as we head to the midterms and as we head towards 2028. And if he wants to be the Republican nominee, that is going to be a big topic of conversation. But J.D. Vance is also running against the Democrat Party. The Republicans are also running against a Democrat Party that has become unrecognizable. And Vance made that point last night in Milwaukee.
I disagree with that, but today, this is not about better or worse policy. This is about who is supporting the fraudsters and who's supporting you. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if Mamaw and Papaw were alive today, they would not recognize the modern Democratic Party in 2026. They would not recognize a party that tries to send your money to illegal aliens instead of our hardworking seniors who earned those benefits and ought to have access to them.
Yep.
They would not recognize a party that raises your taxes so that we can give more money to the fraudsters, and they would not recognize a party that rewards the fraudsters rather than sending them to prison. So I ask you a very simple question. When you come to vote in November, are you going to vote for the pro-fraud party? Are you going to vote for the party who is sending your tax money to the fraudsters? No, we're going to support the party that is sending the fraudsters to jail and is protecting your money. We're going to vote for Derek Van Orden and for Brian Stile.
I mean, that's Vance. He's making a clear distinction here on what the current Democrat Party looks like. It's actually one of the main things that I've used to turn my mother and father-in-law into more supporters of the conservative movement and Donald Trump. I said, yeah, you guys like JFK, right? You know they would have considered him a right-wing extremist in today's political climate. I mean, the madman cleaned a gun inside the Oval Office. I can't keep letting him get away with it. He also pointed out something that I thought was very interesting. I got time for one more clip. He's talking about election fraud. He was going off on all sorts of fraud. But he had this story about the mayor of Milwaukee reaching out to him out of the blue, unsolicited, to let him know, just in case you're wondering, there is no election fraud going on here. And J.D. Vance had the perfect metaphor for how that made him feel.
Young moms, and some guy sends me a letter, the mayor of Milwaukee, and says, we don't do any election fraud, we don't do any election fraud, we don't do any election fraud.
He's in Milwaukee, by the way.
And my response to that is, you know what, it kind of reminds me of like a couple weeks ago, I get home to the Naval Observatory, the nicest public housing anywhere in the United States of America, and my 6-year-old greets me, and I love my little boy, but he's a little mischievous, and he gives me a big hug. He says, Daddy, I'm glad you're home. I didn't steal any of the cookies. I said, that's interesting that you volunteered that when I wasn't even talking about that. Well, of course, he stole the cookies.
Yep.
So when I hear a guy protesting out of nowhere, I did not do any election fraud, it makes me wonder, why is that guy protesting so aggressively?
Doth protest too much. Protest. Speaking be hard. People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and they got some of the sweetest deals of the season going on right now. Do you like to save money? Of course you do. And if you need a new HVAC unit, you can save some serious money today. You need that new system. You purchase a select high-efficiency unit. You're going to get free air duct fogging and a UV light home treatment for free. It's going to keep your house's air so fresh and so clean. You got plumbing projects? Well, you can save $800 on whole home water and drain line replacements today from my friends at Busy Bee. Now, here's something for the neighborhood. You got some neighborly love that you need to do. You got to grease the wheels with the HOA president. Well, if you buy a Beehive Club membership, you'll get one free yearly Beehive Club membership to give to someone in your neighborhood. Busy Bee is making things so smooth and so easy. If you need financing, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 18 months. Call 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, and you can always find them online at busybeehvac.com.
A 13-year-old Texas teen got the shock of his life during a recent storm simply sitting at his computer. Details coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. How's your day going, Ken?
It's all right.
Yeah, a lot of news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of news.
that's cool. Any big stories you're paying attention to?
No,
All right.
not really. This 13-year-old kid getting shocked in his own house. National Highway Safety Administration warning people, autonomous vehicle companies to keep their cars out of the way of first responders. Stuff like that.
I noticed you missed a story yesterday, the big one.
What's that?
Well, it was the winner for Jackson's Nincompoops.
Oh.
And I'm just wondering where we got to get some of those headlines on during the Chris Hand show. Did you hear that story during Nincompoops,
yeah.
Mason? Well, I know you heard it. I was talking to Mason. Did you hear it? This dude where was he in? He was in some state.
Yeah, I can't remember.
A state of psychosis.
Absolutely.
He cut off his own genitals and then used them as a fire starter to light his home on fire.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Nincompoops took a dark turn.
Just a little bit.
I've been reading the reports on this, and a lot of people say he won't have the balls to do it again.
No, sir.
So,
No, sir. There's a cutting-edge story.
it's just, where do you guys find this stuff?
I have no idea where Jackson found that.
I've tried to do the Nincompoops, and I did rig that one to win. But I don't think I can win on my own merit without cheating.
Well, that's what Jackson does.
Okay.
Jackson comes up with his own rules. Just like Brother Bilal does during our one-hit wonder segments on the Chad Benson Show.
Oh, did you lose yesterday? Is that what's going on?
I won.
What'd you win with yesterday?
The Hustle.
Ooh.
1975 disco went all the way to number 1.
1975 disco never gets old.
No.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. It was always on at the pool or at the skating rink.
Let's go.
I wasn't dancing.
But you were skating.
I was skating. Southern
jiving.
Baptists didn't mind skating. They didn't like dancing.
You can't dance.
No.
That's a weird rule to me.
David danced.
And I think when you do the dancing, as long as you leave enough room for Jesus, then that's cool.
Yeah.
Enough room for Jesus and don't sway your hips too much.
Just
You'll be okay.
separate a little bit. Yeah, don't do none of that Elvis stuff. That's fine.
That's of the devil.
I mean, I'm sure King David wasn't dancing like that.
Yeah, fair. My daughter's she's going to have school dances this year.
Oh, that's right.
I'm chaperoning.
Oh, of course you are.
She said, please, Dad, no. And I said, look at me. Look at me. I'm the chaperone now. She said, I'm not going. I said, listen, I can still chaperone and embarrass you whether you're there or not. So it's up to you. Yeah, I can make it much worse. We got a lot coming up in the lightning round. I actually just came across a story of a Fort Worth, Texas police officer facing demands to be fired because she issued a citation warning to a Christian preacher for offensive speech. And I was under the impression that we were in America, not Europe. Because you see it happen all the time in England, where you read from the Bible and you get silver bracelets in England because, oh, golly, you wouldn't want to offend a Muslim. But I thought we were allowed to do that stuff here. I thought we were allowed to preach the name of Jesus. We're going to bring you that video when we get back. Plus, we'll talk about the calls that she's receiving to be fired. That'll be the first story up in the lightning round right now. We're going to jump into the headlines with our own Ken Weaver. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. 13-year-old Texas teenager Vladis Skuridin got the shock of his life during a recent storm.
It's like 1 in a million or something.
Yeah, the boy was playing a computer game while sitting at his desk in his room when his family says lightning struck the home, traveling through the wires and shocking Vlad through a metal part of his desk.
Super gigantic boom. and I got super scared. I jumped up. I also had a shock on my stomach.
Yeah, the teen was evaluated by EMS and an investigation is underway. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, issued a public call to action today regarding autonomous vehicles and developers of the technology. ABC's Michelle Franzen has details.
Federal regulators are calling out recent incidents where autonomous vehicles interfere with operations by police and first responders. Instances include self-driving vehicles blocking the paths of ambulances and firefighters during emergencies and driving in active police scenes during an arrest. NHTSA's administrator writing a letter to developers of the self-driving vehicles calling it unacceptable, adding autonomous vehicles that can't safely interact with first responders is a danger to the general public. The agency now calling on developers to immediately resolve the issues. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Well, an attempt by cities, towns, and counties to help their workers lose a few pounds is creating a new strain on taxpayer dollars. ABC's Jim Ryan says that may mean changes to future health plans.
A few years ago, the city of Fort Worth started offering GLP-1 drugs to employees as part of their insurance coverage. Now,
that one category alone is actually over 40%.
Kristen Smith is Fort Worth's Director of Human Resources.
I describe it as a runaway train.
And now cities nationwide are taking a closer look at weight loss drugs.
The most immediate way to reduce the spend in this category is to change the coverage.
Translation, to drop the coverage of GLP-1s. Jim Ryan, ABC News in Dallas, Fort Worth.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:36, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. People have reasons for why they want the water filters. I think you know the reasons. You know.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Thanks, Alex. You can watch us on YouTube, Rumble. You can listen to us on all the apps, iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. Always there for you. 615-737-9986. And it's the time of the day where we like to jump into a little thing we like to call a segment that's known as
Today, Junior.
All right, it's the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
All the segments, all the stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, all the stories that we didn't get a chance to get to, and random absurdity. We like to call it the lightning round. First story up. Are you ready? I'm just seeing this. Wow, you're telling me for the first time, but it happened a few days ago. July 2nd, a law firm announced that they're representing this individual to challenge this citation. But here's the story. Eric Daugherty on X. This Fort Worth, Texas police officer is facing mass demands to be fired after she issued a citation warning a Christian preacher for offensive speech. She straight up claimed, if someone is offended by your talking, we have a problem. Oh, do we, madam? Do we? Because I was under the impression that the First Amendment was to protect offensive speech. Nobody needs the First Amendment to say puppies are cuddly. Nobody does. Have you ever heard that somebody needed the First Amendment for that?
Not to my knowledge.
No. Nobody needs the First Amendment to say that, Corvettes are nice cars. Nobody needs that. They need it for hurtful things, offensive things. But I don't find the Bible very offensive. I could see how some people might get in their feels when it comes to Leviticus, but I'm just saying. It's the Word of God. Deal with it. It's not. I didn't write it. Deal with it. But this one madam police officer, she was very upset, very offended.
If someone is offended by your talking, then we have a problem.
That is a constitutional violation of your rights. If you shut us down,
no. If they are offended by your speech, okay, then I'll write you the ticket, and then we'll go from there.
Wait, you're going to take us for offensive speech?
Yes, absolutely.
I thought this was Texas. What? Everything's bigger in Texas, including the fines for offensive speech, apparently.
Serious speech? You're going to cite us for offensive
It's called disorderly conduct.
No. Disorderly conduct has to be accompanied by conduct.
This is the conduct
I'm
that
a
you're
retired
doing.
police officer myself.
For who?
26 years, federal law enforcement.
So it's federal. So this has nothing to do with local.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with local.
Yeah. Well,
Do whatever y'all think that you can do.
It says 80 decibels. Wow. It says 80 decibels.
If y'all know the law so well, I'm not going to let y'all do
So
whatever
I just want to clarify. If anything is said that's offensive, you're going to write a ticket?
If someone complains that your language or what you're saying is offensive,
That's an issue. She should be fired from her job. She should not be allowed to wear that badge. I'm sorry. I thought you had to swear an oath to the Constitution. Weird. GFA Law PLLC announced July 2nd that it is representing Mr. Grisham, David Grisham, who is a Christian street preacher, and intends to challenge the citation and any related enforcement actions. So this happened, and I love this. This happened during Trinity Pride Festival. Good. But listen, you're not saying the word of God out there because you want to offend people. It's because it's the most loving thing to do to say, hey, heads up. Your lifestyle is going to take you down the wrong path. So this happened on June 27th, and it's making the rounds now and going viral. Mr. Grisham was exercising his rights to express his views on matters of significant public concern, the firm stated. The Fort Worth Police Department responded not by protecting his constitutional rights, but by threatening him with arrest and ultimately issuing a citation. As previously reported by the Dallas Express, Grisham and street preacher Richard Penkoski alleged officers restricted their speech on public streets and sidewalks near the event. The Dallas Express later reported that Fort Worth PD acknowledged an officer made inaccurate statements during the encounter and announced refresher training for officers on First Amendment protections. That's not going to cut it. I don't think that should cut it. I think that she should be fired. She was all uppity, wasn't she? She felt like she knew better than these gentlemen when it came to their First Amendment right. If you say something that's offensive, I actually can. I'm allowed to. I can say a lot of offensive things, actually. I do. It happens. We all do. Being offended is subjective, by the way. Like, what offends me might not offend you. What offends you might not offend me. So, I try not to get offended. Sometimes I get angry. I usually skip offended and go right to angry.
Just a little frustration.
Not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
So that's that. I hope they sue the pants off this woman. I hope she loses her job.
Me too.
Right? I mean, did you hear her? If you say something that's offensive, the sound of your voice, ma'am.
That's a public disturbance.
That should be. It's more than what, 80 decibels? What, you're screeching, madam.
Going to cite us for offensive speech. Disorderly conduct.
No. Disorderly conduct has to be accompanied by conduct.
This is the conduct
I'm
that
a
you're
retired
doing.
police officer myself.
For who?
26 years, federal law enforcement.
So it's federal. So this has nothing to do with local.
Wow.
Like, she's really full of herself, isn't she?
To do with local.
Yeah. Well,
do whatever y'all think that you can do.
Whatever it says 80 decibels. Wow. It says 80 decibels.
If y'all know the law so well, I'm not going to let y'all.
So I just want to clarify. If anything is said that's offensive, you're going to write a ticket?
If someone complains that your language or what you're saying is offensive.
She's going to write that ticket. She wrote the ticket. I like police officers. I support police officers. You need to know the law when you're enforcing it. And it seems like the standards have been so degraded and so lowered over the years that we have a lot of police officers out there that don't know the law and the codes that they're enforcing. And that's an issue. That is 100% an issue that needs to be rectified. All right, got another story for you here in the lightning round. Speaking of offensive, you ready for this? You want to talk about offensive? I feel like this would get me a citation in Fort Worth because I was offended. Stephen A. Smith, you know what he had the audacity to say?
Hit me.
That you can't win in the NBA if your top 3 players are white. I found that to be extremely offensive. And if I was an NBA owner, I'm not going to say governor because that's stupid. That's also offensive. You're not allowed to say owner anymore. You can't say that. Why? Well, because it's offensive to people who their ancestors were slaves. It's like, weren't they called owners when the league was all white? Like, right? Like, did I miss something? Did I miss something? When black people weren't allowed to play in the league, they were called owners, right? It's kind of offensive to the Irish, but whatever. Stephen A. Smith said you can't win with three white players being your best players. He's alluding to the Lakers here.
3 top players are white dudes? Really? This ain't golf. This ain't baseball. Hell, it ain't even soccer. Somebody got to say it, so I'm saying it. This is basketball. I'm not complaining. I'm simply making the point. The Los Angeles Lakers, you ain't going anywhere being led by 3 white dudes in today's generation of basketball. I'm letting you know right now, it ain't happening.
If I ran a team, I would do everything in my power to make that happen. I would. And I also have advocated for black versus white all-star game because I feel like it would be awesome. Like the ratings would be through the freaking roof. There's some great white talent in the NBA right now. There's some great black talent. I'm not taking anything away from Wemby or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or whatever his name is, SGA. There's great players in the NBA today. It's actually a great time to watch the league. But there are some baller white players, right? Can we all agree on that? Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Joker over there. We got Cooper Flagg. What's the kid in Charlotte? Knuppel. I mean, there's some good white players. You could absolutely build a winning team where your 3 best players are white. And I find it offensive that Stephen A. Smith disagrees. You know who else found it offensive? Will Cain on Fox News, and he had Stephen A. Smith on to talk about it.
Leading your franchise, in this case, the Los Angeles Lakers. I've heard you defend this statement. What I would say to you is this, and I'd love to hear your response. A, you're wrong. Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic,
You
Cooper
telling me
Flag.
I'm wrong about a basketball take? That's funny. But go ahead. Go ahead. That's really funny. But go.
Why is it funny? Is it because Will Cain's white? Is Stephen A. Smith as racist as I think he is?
Go ahead.
It's funny and correct at the same time.
Go ahead. It's
Luka
false, but go ahead.
Doncic, Nikola. I can name the three of the best players in the NBA right now that are white, and if they led the Los Angeles Lakers, that would prove your proposition false. That's number one. Number two, if we reversed it, and more importantly, if we reversed it, and I know you, Stephen A., if I came out and said anywhere, any place, anytime that a black quarterback couldn't win the Super Bowl, I'd be wrong, and you would also say, Will, that is racist. You wouldn't accuse me of being a racist, but you would say that statement is racist.
If I said that you can't win the Stanley Cup with 3 black players being your best players, would that be racist?
And I can say the same to you now when it comes to basketball.
Well, first of all, you can. And I'm not going to be offended by it. I've known you for years. I know exactly where you come from. I'm not offended by your question. Allow me to answer. I'm not backing up from what I said one bit, not even a syllable.
I'll give him credit for that. I actually like that. Don't back up from your take. Just lean in. I still want to see a white versus black all-star game. I think that would be sick. I think it would be so dope. I really do. Like, the ratings would be through the roof, and everybody knows it. Don't act like you wouldn't watch. Everyone would watch. Everyone would. Got another server here in the lightning round.
Another one.
Dude, Jasmine Crockett figured everything out. I know, it's not something that you often expect me to say. But Jasmine Crockett really got to the bottom of it this time. She knows the whole game.
What happened?
I'll tell you. She figured out why she lost her primary. It was racism.
So for me, I am going to be working everywhere. The best thing that I can do for James Tallarico isn't me standing on the stage with him. It is the fact that I endorsed 5 candidates in the runoff who all happen to be black men in the state of Texas, and every single one of them won, and they're going on to November, meaning that they will pull out more black people to vote. People keep trying to say, well, Jasmine has to go and hold his hand. No, I don't.
People be saying that too. I heard that. Why is Jasmine holding that man's hand? I think she broke it down clearly right there, though. Nah. Nah.
And don't worry about my math and how it works in my mind.
2 + 2 = 5.
Because the reality is that if you can give people more than one thing to vote for, then you have a better chance of getting them out to the polls. And honestly, some people just not going to be sold on certain people that are running in the state of Texas. So the best thing that I can do is take down ballot candidates who no one's ever heard of and do my best to uplift them and increase the voter participation in a way that we did in Texas. You see, a lot of haters got a lot of things to say about me and my race and how I ran it, but
Here comes the meat and potatoes. You ready for this? A lot of haters be saying things. They do. I've been reading. I be reading.
the reality is that there was a lot of racist, not a lot. It was racist. It was a racist race. It is what it is, right? But we live in America, as y'all are celebrating 250, okay? We know what this country is.
Slay Queen. What do you think? Do you think she really thinks it was racist, or do you think she's embarrassed that she lost to trans Jesus guy? Right? I think she's embarrassed. It's got to be tough for Jasmine Crockett. Can you imagine? I don't know. I also thought it was like racist in the beginning. She's like, I endorsed a bunch of candidates. They all happen to be black because I'm going to get the black vote out. Like, I mean, in the first 30 seconds of that clip, it's like black, 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 white people be racist. Black, 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 racism. Oh. Thanks for the help, Jasmine. Thank you.
Obviously.
All right, got another survey here in the light round. I'll be honest with you, I was really sad about this. I'm still going to do it anyway. Because I thought it was cool. I thought it was cute.
Oh, yeah?
So I saw this video last night, and it was before there was a community note added on it. and it's this guy, and he hooked a harness up to a drone so that way he could commute to work.
Oh, interesting.
And I thought, that's pretty sick. And I was like, I better not show my sons because they'd start getting ideas. But there's a video, and the dude is actually, he's riding a drone. He's got a little harness on, and he's flying. And the comment on it said, I mean, you can hear the music, right? It's not in America. It says, plantation workers in Indonesia are using a farm drone to transport themselves from their field to their vehicles about a mile away. And I was like, that's sick.
Yeah, I was going to say, how big is that drone? It's showing it now on YouTube.
It looks sick. Would you do that?
That's really cool.
I would absolutely hook a harness up to a drone and go for a ride.
Yeah.
But then it said, readers added context that they thought people might want to know. And I'm disappointed. The depicted drone transport was staged for social media content and not routine worker practice. Carrying people has been suspended while authorities review permits. So, just to be fair, he actually did hook up the harness to the drone and go for a ride. But the community note was because they said they're not actually doing that all the time. I wish they would.
Just every Thursday, not all the time.
Wouldn't that be sick?
That'd be cool.
I mean, look, he's going for a lift on that thing.
Yeah.
It's a serious drone. What kind of a drone would I need to lift myself? Let's just say, what would you need? I'm like 180-ish. But what would you need for like a 200-pound guy? How much do I need to spend on that drone?
Probably a couple thousand.
That's it?
I'm thinking.
How long does a battery last on that thing? Could it get me to work here?
Ooh, I don't know.
Would it be frowned upon? Are there currently rules against it?
Will you be in the way of air traffic?
I feel like if you flew low enough, you'd be good to go, right?
Yeah, you should be fine. But there's like ordinances on how low you can fly and how high you can fly.
They always want to restrict my freedoms.
I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to give you heads up before you make the big purchase.
I thought this was America.
It is.
But you're saying that I wouldn't be able to hook a harness up to a drone and take it to work.
I didn't say you couldn't. I said just do it the right way.
You said it would be frowned upon.
No.
What would they charge? What would they charge me with? What do you think they would say? I really do want to do this. He looks like he's having the time of his life.
Oh, he looks like he's having an absolute blast.
And you can like pre-program your coordinates. You wouldn't even have to stress.
Or just hold the remote in your hand and guide yourself as you go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Better than that submarine.
Way better than the submarine.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for the lightning round. Hit like and subscribe so I can afford a drone for my commute.
We need a big drone. All the likes, please. We'll bring the whole staff in.
11:55 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's